Things get crazy in the morning with JD Vance exposes George Stephanopoulos and ABC for how evil they really are by pushing a story he has no idea about and constantly pouncing on it. Ladies and gentlemen, pause. Ladies and gentlemen, this is the worst possible thing that can happen to ABC again this week. We already know George Stephanopoulos was sued and they had to give up and cough up millions of dollars because of him and his lies. But now he is lying about something else and getting exposed, and now rushing and rage quitting off air because he is getting exposed badly by JD Vance. And I want you guys to take a look at this whole thing because it's so brutally wild how bad these people are. Take a listen to this. Make sure to smash the like button. Let me know where you guys are watching from.
The White House border czar Tom Homan was recorded on an FBI surveillance tape in September 2024, accepting $50,000 in cash. Did he keep that money or give it back?
George, you've covered the story ad nauseum. Tom Homan did not take a bribe. It's a ridiculous smear. And the reason you guys are going after Tom Homan so aggressively is because he's doing the job of enforcing the law. I think it's really preposterous. I know Tom. I think that he's a good man. He gets death threats. He gets attacked. He gets constantly threatened by people because he has the audacity to want to enforce the country's immigration laws. I think that it would be a much more interesting story about why is it that Tom Homan, who is simply enforcing Americans' immigration laws, is getting constantly harassed and threatened to the point of death threats. That's a much more interesting question that I think journalists should focus on. We can agree to disagree on that question.
Well, wait, you said he didn't take a bribe, but I'm not sure you answered the question. Are you saying that he did not accept the $50,000?
George, this story has been covered ad nauseum. He did not take a bribe. Did he accept $50,000? I'm sure that in the course of Tom Homan's life, he has been paid more than $50,000 for services. The question is, did he do something illegal? And there's absolutely no evidence that Tom Homan has ever taken a bribe or done anything illegal, which is why he's working in the administration.
I'm asking you, did he accept the $50,000 that was caught on the surveillance tape? Did he accept that $50,000 or not?
George, I don't know what you're talking about. Did he accept $50,000 for what?
He was recorded on an audio tape in September 2024, an FBI surveillance tape, accepting $50,000 in cash. Did he keep that money?
Accepting $50,000 for doing what, George? I'm not even sure I understand the question. Is it illegal to take a payment for doing services? The FBI has not prosecuted him. I've never seen any evidence that he's engaged in criminal wrongdoing. Nobody has accused Tom of violating a crime, even the far left media like yourself. So I'm actually not sure what the precise question is. Did he accept $50,000? Honestly, George, I don't know the answer to that question. What I do know is that he didn't violate a crime.
So you don't, what was caught on the tape, you're saying right now you don't know whether or not he kept that money?
I don't know what tape you're referring to, George. I saw media reports that Tom Homan accepted a bribe. There's no evidence of that. And here's, George, why fewer and fewer people watch your program and why you're losing.
Here we go. Here we go. He's absolutely about to start cooking this guy.
There's no evidence of that. And here's, George, why fewer and fewer people watch your program and why you're losing credibility, because you're talking for now 5 minutes with the Vice President of the United States about this story regarding Tom Homan, a story that I've read about, but I don't even know the video that you're talking about. Meanwhile, low-income women can't get food because the Democrats and Chuck Schumer have shut down the government. Right now, we're trying to figure out how to pay our troops because Chuck Schumer has shut down the government. You are focused on a bogus story. You're insinuating criminal wrongdoing against a guy who has done nothing wrong instead of focusing on the fact that our country is struggling because our government's shut down. Let's talk about the real issues, George. I think the American people would benefit much more from that than from you going down some weird left-wing rabbit hole where the facts clearly show that Tom Homan didn't engage in any criminal wrongdoing.
It's not a weird left-wing rabbit hole. I didn't insinuate anything. I asked you whether Tom Homan accepted $50,000.
Yes, you are. You are 100% insinuating. That's the only reason you are talking about the story. It's to get clicks. But guess what? The people don't believe you or want you or even watch you anymore. I don't even know why JD Vance even went on the show, but he did it anyways, probably because of this, because he knew that he would embarrass this guy. This is so embarrassing to be talking about BS. This is what they do all day. It's so embarrassing. And watch how he rage quits here. I want to go to the part where he rage quits and goes directly to commercial break, because this is just too good. This is way too good. He goes straight into commercial break because he knows that he is getting absolutely cooked. Let's actually go to the clip, because I don't. Here we go. All right.
Accepted $50,000, as was heard on an audio tape recorded by the FBI in September 2024, and you did not answer the question. Thank you for your time this morning.
No,
Well,
George, I said that I don't.
Up next, we'll be right back.
Wow, he cut him off completely, bro. He rage quits. He literally tries to retract or tries to not get sued. You could just tell what he tries to do here. And he is sickly. He's already mad that JD Vance called him out for having a low-rated show. By the way, George Stephanopoulos is one of the main reasons why ABC has to cough up millions of dollars with these stupid and bogus stories. They call people on the right conspiracy theorists, but these people, this is a wild conspiracy theory type of show he's leading on right now with the Vice President of the United States of America. That this is what you want to talk about? You want to talk about Tom Homan? Play this one more time.
Insinuate anything. I asked you whether Tom Homan accepted $50,000, as was heard on an audio tape recorded by the FBI in September 2024, and you did not answer the question. Thank you for your time this morning.
No, George, I said that I don't.
Up next, we'll be right back.
Wow, that's so brutal. He literally went straight to commercial break, desperate to leave and stop talking to JD Vance, as JD Vance literally just roasted his whole entire career. Like literally, he roasted his entire career. JD Vance destroyed the ABC's George Stephanopoulos. So they're so hard. He roasted him so hard they had to cut off his feed and go to break. You already know that in his earpiece, they were 100% pushing for them to, go on break. But I think one of the main things that JD Vance said here was this part. You are focused on a bogus story. You're insinuating criminal wrongdoing against the guy who has done nothing wrong, instead of focusing on the fact that our country is struggling because our government is shut down. Let's talk about real issues, George. That's not what he wanted to talk about. He wanted to talk about again, bogus story about Tom Homan, because he knows that that's the only way that the network is probably going to survive anymore. Or any longer. And it's just sad, ladies and gentlemen. It's sad where George Stephanopoulos is rage quitting on air. This is what you call a rage quit. Sad. It is sad. But I do have one more clip I want to show you, because everybody has been melting down about the fact that, again, Letitia James has been indicted, and they are basically, they're using that to say that Trump and his administration is running wild, and JD Vance has a response for that. He has a response for that, because at some point he would be asked about this. He would be asked about the fact that, again, Letitia James. Let's just go for it. This is also up here.
Letitia James was indicted in a left-leaning part of our country, a part that voted very heavily against Donald J. Trump, for the crime of mortgage fraud. When I read the indictment, when I read the facts in the case, I see a person who committed mortgage fraud. Now, of course, the jury is going to decide whether she ultimately committed a crime. We don't try her. The administration doesn't try her. A judge tries the case, and a jury decides whether she's ultimately guilty. That is what is going to determine whether she goes to prison. I think we let the facts drive this. And George, that's what we've tried to do in the administration's Department of Justice. We've asked ourselves, has a person violated the law? And if that person has violated the law, then we decide to prosecute him. That's what the Department of Justice should do. It didn't do that under Joe Biden's administration. It does under Donald Trump's.
And what's so sad about this, again, as George Stephanopoulos, whatever his name is, he was melting down on air about the fact that she was indicted, right? James Comey was also indicted. And again, what they don't talk about is how they don't cover it, how when Trump was getting indicted left and right, he was found liable for this, found liable for that in court every other day. They never had these types of meltdowns. Gee, I wonder why. And like I said, people clearly forgot how divided the country began to get. Country was probably already divided, but the country began to get superly overly divided, where people just stopped believing in politics and started to say, wow, the Democrats are really going after Trump. This is crazy. And they think, how can you go after somebody and then not think that you're not going to get caught up with skeletons in your closet? Because clearly the whole time you did have skeletons in your closet. while you're trying to prosecute people and trying to get people to drop out the race or have them arrested before they become president. So it's kind of hilarious to me how these people react to these types of things happening, knowing that at some point it would happen, that everything would come to light, that Adam Schiff's would eventually be indicted as well. Adam Schiff's details that have come out about his mortgage fraud between Maryland and California, it's also something that's probably going to come too. But the Democrats are using this as a time to say, oh, look, this is a tyrannical government. But meanwhile, we've been screaming that for a very long time. So what happened? There's proof. There's a left-wing jury of their peers. They're the ones looking at this. They're the ones that are gonna have to find you guilty. You trusted them between Trump to find him liable. Why don't you trust them now? If they're innocent, then the jurors would do their job to find them either not guilty or guilty. But what happened? How did we quickly all forget what the last 4 years have been like, what the last 3 years and a half have been like? So yeah, I think it's pretty crazy to watch all these people come up with stories, come up with everything that you see today, the hysteria of how this country is at its last legs and this country is falling apart. Sure, I can actually agree with that if we're talking about the economics of this country or people not having jobs or being able to afford jobs. But they're talking about this as a Trump standpoint, as him being the president. Nah, between him being president or not, this country was already in a huge bubble and a huge crisis to probably come, whether Trump is going to be president or not. Literally, there's young men and women, children who, again, are going to grow up to not be able to afford housing, afford food, get the best jobs possible. It's so many other things going on. This is what these people want to talk about. It's ridiculous. It really is.